So this is a view looking up the Tummil River to the headwaters, and what the Avon Catchment group is trying to achieve is, by me enhancing the bird life etc. in the headwaters and us trapping down the river, that eventually there will be an ecological corridor for the bird life to pass down the river into other patches of native bush. My father ensued a love for the native bush in me when I was a kid, and ever since I was a teenager I've been controlling the weeds out here. There's no weeds, no noxious weeds in the dockland here or my bush block, because I've been keeping them out since I was young. Got my first old man's beard out here when I was only about 20. I think that pest control and weed control go hand in hand. It's no use just getting rid of the pests out of the bush, you've got to get rid of the weeds out of the bush as well. I've been enhancing it by planting matai and totara and a few kahikatea in the wet spots underneath this tall carnuka, and even though they were planted in a drought year, they're absolutely 100% thriving, because it's the natural environment and how they normally would come up. Now, I've planted 200 matai, about 100 totara and 50 kahikatea the last 18 months. This red beech is a survivor. It would have to be 500 or 600 years old, and there's a bracket fungi in there that the Mara used to use for carrying fire. We've got some quite unusual species in here for South Marlborough. They're not uncommon nationally, but in this very dry climate up here, we've got 3 species of tree fern that most of them only come dormant for hundreds of years. We've got kaikomako and pokaka, mahoe waro. We've got some beautiful big mature matais about 600 years old. Creeping fuchsia procumbens, that's quite a rare plant. And we've got quite a lot of the hebes, and we've also got, of course, the waihope daisy, Salmisia insignis. One of the most exciting native birds that we've seen in here, which isn't supposed to be in South Marlborough, is the yellow-crowned parakeet. We've sighted them a few years ago on numerous occasions in the dockland. Also, there was a blue duck on Lake Alexander for about 5 or 6 years. There's a lot of nice bird life in here. There's nesting native pigeons, there's riflemen, the South Island robin. The bellbirds in the beech forest are hundreds and hundreds to the hectare in the spring. So yeah, the bird life is very good in here, and getting rid of these little buggers on the ground here can only help them. In my bush block of 1,200 acres here, in the last 18 months I've got over 250 possums in about a 3 to 5 kilometre trap line, and I've got a box trap here with the Dock 200s, and there's a stoat I caught a few weeks ago, but I've caught 8 stoats in the bush in that time. I've caught 1 ferret. In the past I've got a lot of ferrets out here. So the other thing I've caught a lot of in these possum traps is caught dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of rats and mice. Also, these box traps, I've caught rats and numerous hedgehogs. There seems to be a hell of a lot of hedgehogs in the bush, and of course they eat the native snails and all the little invertebrates, the wetters and things. And also, by catching them in this trap, they hold the trap up until I reset it, so I can't catch a stoat. So hedgehogs are a nuisance and they need to go. So this is one of my favourite parts of my bush block because of the beech. And as you can see, there's only a few mature beech trees, but when I was in my 20s I came through here and these young beech were only as thick as my finger, and now look at them, they're 6 inches through, and there's lots of them. So, and it's all come up through carnuka. Bearing in mind, while I was talking about those plants, I've got photographs of this country in the 1920s. It was clear tussock farmland. So it just goes to show that in 100 years what can be achieved.